good and evil. Some say that man is good, others say that man is evil. Some say that these are just ideas that were made to keep us down. But the author Robert Louis Stevenson, who wrote The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, had a completely different idea. It's called duality. The idea of duality is well displayed in the story of Jekyll and Hyde. The main character, Dr. Jekyll, creates a drug that allows him to turn into a person with no inhibitions and no conscience. It's called Mr. Hyde. He becomes addicted to being Mr. Hyde, and in the end he commits suicide. This concept of duality is displayed well in this passage taken from chapter 9. It reads, "With every day, and from both sides of my intelligence, the moral and the intellectual, I thus drew steadily nearer to that truth, by whose partial discovery I have been doomed to such a dreadful shipwreck, that man is not truly one, but truly two. I say two because the state of my own knowledge does not pass beyond that point. Others will follow, others will outstrip me on the same lines, and I hazard the guess that man will ultimately be known for a mere polity of multifarious, incongruous, independent denizens. I, for my part, from the nature of my life, advanced infallibly in one direction, and in one direction only. It was on the moral side, and in my own person that I learned to recognize the thorough and primitive duality of man. I saw that of the two natures that contend in the field of my consciousness, even if I could rightly be said to be either, it was only because I was radically both. And from an earlier date, from even before the course of my scientific discoveries had begun to suggest the most naked possibility of such a miracle, I learned to dwell with pleasure, as a beloved daydream, on the thought of such a separation of these two elements. If each, I told myself, could be housed in separate identities, life would be relieved of all that was unbearable. The unjust might go his way, delivered from the aspirations and remorse of his more upright twin, and the just could walk steadfastly and securely on his upward path, doing the good things in which he found his pleasure, and no longer exposed to disgrace and penance by the hands of his extraneous evil. It was the curse of mankind that these incongruous faggots were thus bound together, that in the agonizing womb of consciousness these polar twins should be continuously struggling." So this excerpt shows Dr. Jekyll's belief in duality, that man is both evil and good. And isn't that true? We all see it in ourselves and in the people around us. And no matter how hard we try, we always might find some evil lurking around the corner. But what can we do? It's in our nature.